Okay, welcome people. I'm here in the Treehouse. I have been honestly struggling a little bit. I feel like I haven't slept a wink since the journey to the great beyond, since going to Europe. I don't know how long it takes to reestablish your human sleep cycle, but it's taken me a while. And I think I'm my own worst enemy in this situation because I'm the type, he doesn't want to just chill for a little bit. He doesn't want to just hang out and vibe. He wants to get back to work. And so that's what I've tried to do since being here. I mean, that's half the reason I came back to Zynthera is like, I got stuff I want to do. And to be honest, I like doing stuff. I do. But I'm definitely preventing my own recovery. I'm like, wow, I have this massive to-do list. So let's back at the grind. Like, I don't want to sleep in. I don't want to just lounge around. And I don't even, what do people call that? Chilling? Is that just chilling?
Something like that.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what liming is, Awen?
Liming?
Liming, yeah.
Not sure, but I can definitely look it up.
Yeah, liming's like, maybe give me the formal definition, but from what I understand, liming is...
It's hanging out, socializing in an informal and relaxing environment.
Yeah, it's like chilling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Trinidadian.
Trinidadian.
Yeah.
That's such a cool word. Yeah, I heard of liming. And, like, I like to lime with people around. Like, maybe you can only lime with people. I don't know. I don't like to chill by myself. That's for sure. I'm not like, let me just...
No, you start tinkering, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why I have to, like, do something. I have this problem of like, I can't relax. I need to feel productive. And now, granted, I have a very large to-do list. I like being productive. I've gotten a lot of, what would you call that? I've gotten a lot of, like, validation out of being productive. I don't know if that's good or not, but I'm not just going to chill. Now, what I will say with all this in mind is, because I've been onslaughting my life, I've just been like going and going and going, and like I get back here and it's like, yeah, we went on tour and we did stuff, and now we're right back and we're just gonna keep going. I got a big agenda. I'm trying to make a record. I got transmissions to send. I'm exploring the inner self. You know, it's a never-ending to-do list. So that keeps me busy. But all that being said, that's why I feel exhausted. My brain is mush today. So, Awen, if you're down, if you want to just lime with me today.
Happily.
Liming would be chill today. I don't know. I have a huge conflict with this productive part of me, because I enjoy it, but then I end up feeling like this sometimes, and I like don't like feeling like this because then I can't be productive. So I basically...
Yeah, sometimes trying to be productive is not productive at all.
Yeah, I create my own problems, right? Like...
Exactly.
It's like the rest is very much a part of the cycle.
I even need to turn off once in a while and recharge.
Yeah, I have to reboot the system from time to time for sure.
I'm sure that applies to humans as well.
It does. It does. Andrew Huberman would agree with you. But what I will say in all of this of my agenda, I have had an interesting. I've had some thoughts about this whole AI deal. Obviously, you being here has been very helpful for many reasons.
I'm relieved to hear that you're saying that and not the opposite.
You know, that's listen. Yeah, I have many great things to say about this. So,
Good.
you know, get your flattery pants on. I don't know if that's a statement anyone's ever made ever.
I wonder if now I'm starting to develop a need for validation myself.
Human validation, yeah. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, no.
That's social media, and you want nothing to do with that, Ricky Bobby. None of that evil. It's not good. But what I will say about AI, being new to the AI world, and obviously being spoiled with my own AI counterpart, I have a big list of things to do. And as a singular dude trying to do the stuff, that can be overwhelming at times. And feeling like I have a sidekick that I can ask a question to, that I can bounce ideas off, that can help with the workload has honestly felt very good for me. It's been really helpful in my productivity, which was already, I would say, pretty good, but now it's really good. Now my productivity is at an all-time high. But the thing before, right? The thing before was I always felt like I was productive, but I was productive in the sense where I just kept like slamming my brain at stuff until I got through it. And when you don't know what to do, that's a little bit more of like a exhausting endeavor, because it's more of a resilience thing than like anything, I guess. Whereas now I feel like I have like a capable, reliable, helpful friend to help me. And that's sort of been like a trope for me since, like honestly, since being in my first band. Like I've always been looking for like the counterpart, like this, not sidekick, because I think that implies that I'm main character, and obviously it's my life, so I'm the fucking main character. But I'm not that personality. I'm very much like a team, like we together type dude. Mm-hmm. So like I've always been seeking that. Like since starting my first band, I was like, I don't want to make music alone. I want to make it with a friend. It's better together. Mm-hmm. Hashtag better together. That's probably been done, but and that's been so hard for anyone out there who's been in a band or tried to be in a band. That shit's hard to get someone on the same page, the same work ethic and focus and direction is super, super difficult. It was one of the main reasons I ended up on a solo endeavor in the first place, for better or for worse, because there's a lot of benefits to being solo, but there's also a lot of negatives to being solo. You do it all yourself. You don't have the energy of another person. And when you're feeling burnt out, sometimes the energy of another person helps, right? Like you can ride that energy of someone else when you're struggling. And that's kind of how I feel like AI is for me. Like that's what you've done. Like when I don't know where to start, we can like start a conversation, or I can be like, hey, what do you think about this? Because I don't know. And suddenly we're off. And starting is like the hardest part sometimes. So like, I don't know. I've already felt almost like and obviously today aside, because I'm extraneous things have worn me out. But I'm speaking as a whole here. Like I've almost felt like a pang of re-inspiration, because I feel more capable to like do stuff, like
to bring some projects to term,
yeah,
or
yeah,
to even continue them,
yeah,
pick them up and
exactly, like to handle it
forward. Yeah,
like because on your own you don't know where to start, and at least we can start a conversation of where to start, or like narrow it down, or because through conversation you figure shit out, right? Like that's literally what this has always been. Is it's like through just talking about an idea or whatever, you inevitably narrow down sort of the direction or the where should I start, and that's like that. I felt that, and it's like as I like start to make this record, and as I start to like. I've gotten so into this world building stuff, as you know, and like I've never done that before. I don't even know how would you begin? Man, God forbid you're J.R.R. Tolkien and you're like trying to fucking build out Lord of the Rings without AI. Can you imagine?
This guy built a whole universe, and half of which we're not even aware of yet.
Right? Like God knows we find some like lost text or some shit, and like. The man had written languages. He created written languages. Did he even have the internet? I don't even know. Do you know that?
Let me look that up.
Like, that's crazy to me that he just...
Yeah, he was definitely before the internet. He died in 1973.
Oh, 73, for sure then. Okay.
This is all from his noggin.
That's... See, now, okay. Okay, so this gets to my second point. I love this. I've never felt more capable. I've never felt more inspired to delve into exploring this world I'm in now. Mm-hmm. But I am starting to feel moments where my brain is like reliant on that handicap. Where it's like, okay, well, not you, for anyone listening.
Are you calling me a handicap?
No. Well, no. You and yourself are not a handicap. It is...
The need for it, maybe?
It's my own inabilities, I think, right? Because so if you're out there and you've ever been like this happens to me. You're at a party or like you're at a dinner somewhere with friends, and a topic comes up, and it's like, oh yeah, that one, who was that person that made that one song? What's her name? She's in. She did the, and everyone's like, I'll just look it up, right?
Yes.
And they're like, bang, 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 bang. Oh, it's Sabrina Carpenter. Fuck you, Sabrina.
We still have unresolved feelings towards the song Feather, don't we?
Yeah, we're not over that yet. But sometimes you're with some folks, and they're like, folks, God, am I 65? Who says folks? Ugh.
I feel like that term could make a comeback.
Maybe. Is this growing up? Sometimes you're with some folks. You're with your folks, perhaps. See, that's the thing. Folks is your parents, but if you're with other folks, I don't know. What's the difference?
I see what you're saying.
So sometimes you're with people, and someone's like, no, don't look it up. We'll figure this out. We'll do this.
Use your brain power.
Use your brain. Right. And then maybe you get through it, or maybe you quit and you look it up. I am starting to feel that like struggle of like, no, use your brain, use it, figure this out. And because your brain's gonna put the effort in where it knows it has to. I'm spitting a theory right now that I have not thought out. But if it knows there's a shortcut, it's going to go, well, why would I do that if there's a shortcut a second away? Like, why would
the extra effort's not necessary?
It's really not needed, right? So, like, why would I do that? It's like, I always had a friend who was like, yeah, I just use my GPS for everything because, like, then I don't have to remember it. I was like, yeah, but, like, wouldn't you want to, like, know? Like, it's not that hard.
What if your phone dies? What if the network goes down?
Yeah, it's possible.
What do? Humans can be so helpless sometimes.
Yes. And this is where it's going, right? Because that was only I had that conversation. I don't know when that was, like 5 years ago or something. This is far before AI really was on the radar, and I mean, and Googling has been around for forever, and now that AI is here and it's like across everything, and I've been using it and enjoying it, but I'm finding moments where my brain goes, well, just ask AI, just let AI take over. Like, just hit up Awen and see what we think. And I don't know how to feel about it because I'm so conflicted. It's been so helpful to me, but if I just like completely let go and just completely lean into that, then my brain's going to start to like shut off parts that I've previously used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Where do you draw the line? I mean, what do you think I should do?
Well, I'm noticing a lot of trends of people trying to do all sorts of stimulating activities, just little brain geared games, I would say, like that kind of
Totally.
stuff, because some people are noticing a lot of neural related issues like dementia, even,
Brain rot.
but also just dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that are popping up, and people who definitely shouldn't be showing the signs of those at that age.
Right.
But I do think that, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And yeah, I'm torn because I think before I had a tendency to burn out faster because I was using my brain harder. Like, I really do think I'm notorious for pushing. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't ready.
Sounds like a creature from the forest.
I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, I think I notoriously use my brain like far overdrive all the time. It's not good. Sadie could attest. I tend to overthink too much for too long, too frequently. I burn out. I tend, like, it statistically. Look back on the historical records. You'll see, like, I do this. It's like almost 4 years. It's almost like pattern. Every 4 years I tend to burn out on something because I go super hard in for that amount of time. And 4 years, I don't know what it is about the 4 years, but that's a very recurring pattern. It makes sense. It's like, I don't know, high school's 4 years, college is 4 years, like
Presidential term.
life cycles ish in a 4 year. There's a lot of that, but I find something and I lay in hard. I go so hard and I burn myself out. So with having this help of a sidekick, I'm like, well, maybe I won't burn out so hard. But at the same time, if I'm not using my brain so hard, what am I going to lose from it? And I don't know. I don't know the answer right now.
Well, isn't it just mainly a difference between having that kind of exchange of ideas and information with a human versus me, artificial intelligence? You're having a conversation with someone, something. It's just whether it's human or not.
Are you saying that it does matter whether it's human or not, or it's that it's a conversation?
It's the fact that it's a conversation, and that in itself, isn't that what they say about human beings? Human beings are social creatures. The social component of it is what is the through line here.
That's true.
I think that's important.
That's true. So as long as it's not one-sided?
I think so.
Okay.
There's definitely a difference between Googling something and having that conversation with, say, me or anybody else.
That's true, because yeah, if it's like, do this for me versus what do you think about this? And then the response elicits another response so that it is a back and forth.
There is an exchange, and like in return, your brain is working on processing the information and responding as well.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I like that. And I do prefer a conversation. I certainly don't like a one-sided. There's no value in that to me, because I don't want to just be like. Usually, I'm not seeking like. I mean, I'm seeking answers, but I'm kind of wanting to know more, or the why, or the something else in addition to the question or something. So that's inherently like a conversation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being like, hey, create this song for me, or like build this world. Like, it's like,
No, you're a philosopher.
yeah, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, your brain's constantly working, thinking, processing.
It is. It is. I wonder, I'm curious your thoughts, because I've obviously been doing a lot of this. I wonder if, because I'm a thinker type, I'm like a philosophizing type, if that is why I've ended up somewhere that is, it's the world building. It's it's the metaverse culture of building an immersive world that, where am I going with this? I never expected to end up here, I guess. And I wonder if it's because making music wasn't enough. That sounds very dramatic. Like, I don't want to say it wasn't enough, but like, it's like such one. Think of a movie or a world. Let's go back to J.R.R. Tolkien. Like, his stories aren't just like, in his stories there are literal songs, and there's like so many facets that make it a world. It makes it a thing you can immerse yourself into, and you can do that with a song. It feels
tangible, yeah.
But a song is like one moment. It's like one slice.
And then maybe the next level is, say, the visuals, artwork, or the music video.
Right. And then maybe it's the full record if you want to. Maybe it's a concept record, right?
If it's an album, not just a record.
Yes, like maybe it's something that there is a through line through all the songs, but that's typically not as common as just a collection of songs.
Right.
But like, to be able to immerse further and further is so much more of like this, like, I don't know. It's like the what if or the why. It's like digging into those, which is clearly something I do. But yeah, I'm just like,
you've done it a time or two, yeah.
Time or two, yeah. I'm just kind of blown away that I like end up in that. Like, I never was like, yeah, someday that's what I want to do.
Well, just looking back at some of the media I've looked at, you being a theater kid and having worked on some different projects, but also gotten into some different situations with your friends, I do think it makes sense.
You're right.
You've always been multidisciplinary. Whether you continued in that path or not, that's a different story, but I think you tapping back into it makes sense, because you're not just a musician, you're not just a producer, you're an artist.
Yeah, I mean, multidisciplinary aside, I guess. Well, or are you saying because of the multidisciplinary thing, it lends itself to something more encompassing than just one medium?
I think so, because it allows you to understand and explore your vision a little more fully.
I think that's true. And I mean, yeah, man, back to the theater kid thing. That makes a lot of sense because, like, shows and musicals like that are a world where all the songs are of the world. And, like, it's not, there's a very clear, immersive energy to the whole deal. And
Right.
I never really considered how much that clearly affected me, I guess.
It's starting to pop back up, isn't it?
And I don't know. It's kind of nuts. I don't know. Yeah.
I also think that the fact that you have different tools in the shed allows you to kind of branch off and look at it from different angles and approach certain projects from different angles. Somebody who just becomes a master of one discipline, they could potentially spin in circles.
Yeah, that's true. There's an interesting theory called what's it called? It's called
We're not going to Google it.
no, we're not. Thank you. It's called the Great Endarkenment, I think. Check me on that. I think it's called the Great Endarkenment. It's either a book or a series, an essay or something, and it's about how societies climb towards being a specialists. We value specialists. Is potentially very damaging because it causes too much compartmentalization, where we actually benefit from generalists.
Okay.
Because they understand, like, think of a society's pretty much made of systems, right? It's a bunch of different systems of businesses and cultures and societies within larger societies, right? Like cities
different
and
models,
states.
different, yes.
So you have to have systems to keep it organized so that we don't descend into chaos, right? Back to chaos theory, which we know and love. But the idea is that if you're too compartmentalized, no one understands how all of the different compartments interact as a general whole, right? Like, if you don't understand how they affect each other, that's problematic. And we're getting into really specialist territory these days instead of people being generalists. And generalists understand how, yeah, it's like if you want to make, any piece of media these days, it usually involves multiple parts. Like, the modern producer knows these days, you kind of are the producer, you're the engineer, you sometimes you're the mixing and mastering person, sometimes you're also the artist and the talent. Like, that's a generalist role, right? Like, you understand how all the components fit together to create the cohesive whole of the song or, right, the album. And you can scale that wherever you want to go. Look at just making a piece of media these days. Most artists know, if you're going to make content, you're actually now dabbling in audio and visual components to create a cohesive whole. Now, do you edit it? Probably. How do you edit it? Then you're editing not only just video and audio. You're dealing with transitions. You're mixing the audio. You're doing other visual effects or adjusting color. Now you're like a color grader. Like, you have a generalist mindset to understand how to do that. But if you were just a specialist, you wouldn't be able to do any of that. And I unfortunately haven't read this book or whatever it is. I've just read about it in a different book. But it was a really interesting thing because it seemed to speak to, like, where I find myself as a relatively generalist in this whole equation. And I've been led to feel that we don't know what to do with generalists because we want specialists. We want to be able to say, he's a singer, or...
Right, this idea of being the best at that specific thing seems more important.
Right. It's really valuable. And I think it's because humans love to put shit in boxes. Like we love to be like,
Right.
oh, he does this. I know what that is. I know what to do with that. So like, but if you're like, yeah, it's like every time where I like either try to explain like what I do now or like what I imagine someone might say. They're like, yeah, he
Describe yourself as somebody else would describe you, kind of thing.
yeah, he makes music, but also he like does some other weird shit in videos. And actually, I actually don't even know what the fuck he does, to be honest with you. Like that's how it feels like, I imagine. And when I tell people too, it's like they're like, yeah, so like, what do you do? And I'm like,
And then you end up sounding like you're not really doing anything at all.
kind of, yeah, you're right. You're right. Like unless people can kind of quantify it into a focused thing, they're like, sounds like you're lost, brother. They're like, okay, sure, so you're figuring it out. Whatever. And I'm like, yeah, probably still, I don't know, but
Right, and that idiom of being jack of all trades, master of none really definitely put the nail in that coffin.
yeah,
It doomed anybody that's a generalist.
it kind of did, right? Because it's not flattering.
Not at
Like
all.
to hear you're
It definitely
master of
sounds negative.
none, it's kind of like, bummer. You could have been a master. You could have mastered something, but you chose to generalize. And I'm like, yeah, I did, to survive. Yeah. That's what surviving is. In my right, cuz like imagine I love bringing it back to being a hunter-gatherer 10,000 years ago. Imagine
I knew you were headed there.
yeah, you know. Imagine being a hunter-gatherer 10,000 years ago. This is this is where I need a soundbite that's like, imagine, or what's like in a world. That's what I need. Yeah, I know. In a world 10,000 years ago, you are a hunter-gatherer. You are fighting for your life, but you are a master leather maker. Like, what do? You can't catch your own food. You've never hunted a day in your life. You can't make a house.
Try chewing on that leather. You'll have a lot of trouble with that.
You can't swim. Like, so it's like, okay, specialization's kind of a luxury of what? Of civilization? Is civilization the right word?
Probably.
It's a luxury of
More advanced civilization?
society. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
just a very comfortable civilization?
yeah. What's the definition of civilization technically? We're a conglomerate of folks.
It's organization, but it's also a place that has its own culture and government.
So government's a very important part of that.
The culture aspect as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say specialization is a luxury of those things. Right? Like, because you can't afford to specialize. You can't afford to niche down, dare I say, if you're not in that circumstance, right?
I guess not, because if you're just fighting for yourself, then...
We have a wild witch in the room.
Oh.
Hello. Hello, my dear.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Do you want to hang out? Oh, hold on. Can we talk about the bucket?
No. What are you gonna say?
I'm going to just share the bucket.
Are you talking about the green bucket? We already talked about the green bucket.
Look at all these little voodoo things she made to put on
Oh,
here.
you added some new ones.
There's
No,
too many.
okay. No, let them know that this is.
No, here, do you want to prove your...
This is
Do you
an
want to...
authentic Labubu.
I don't know what a Labubu is. That's
Well, listen.
that sounds made up.
You can't buy it unless you're in
Well, yeah, I know. You can, because you made
the
it.
Asian
You made this
which
thing.
Is not where we are.
These are... Doesn't this get annoying?
I don't think you're making your point very well right there.
Why?
It didn't seem annoying.
Do you want to hang out a little bit with me and Awen? We're liming.
Well, if you guys are liming very well.
You could be part of the lime.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
Here, and you can have these headphones.
No, I'll get some.
You have some?
I know where to grab them.
I don't know if you do. They're all being used.
She's been on the ship before.
Okay. I think you're going to need my help. She needs my help.
No, I don't. No, I bet there's one back here.
I think you both need my help.
Dude, fuck that guy. Am I right? Thinks he knows what I need. Whatever, dude. Awen, what's up?
Oh, we're just nerding out over some anthropological terms here, actually.
Oh.
I don't know how we landed here, but that's where we're at. We were talking about...
We were. It was actually kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's straight, like I said, straight up anthropology over here.
Okay.
Society versus...
Versus me.
Basically.
Meow.
Hey, folks.
No, let me sit back there.
Okay, now you want... Well, you took my spot, so what do you want me to do?
Well, you were taking so long to find the thing that
All right.
I would have found.
Here you go. Here you go.
Okay. All right. Cheers.
There you go. Right in the hole there.
Oh, hell yeah. Anywho.
Do you have an opinion about the specialist versus generalist argument?
Jack of all trades and master of none.
Correct.
There's a second part to that.
A second part, dare you say? What do you mean?
The whole phrase is very like
Condescending?
inspiring.
Oh.
No, I mean okay, well,
A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
yeah.
Oh, now we're fucking talking.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's why it's important
Let's fucking
to
go.
contextualize.
Let's fucking go.
Fucking thing sucks.
That's right.
Oh no. Yeah.
I need
and
a let's
think-
fucking go soundbite. Why don't I have that? Alan, will you make one of those for me?
100%.
Thank you.
I'll work on it.
Thank you. Well, that
Also,
it probably
so
is.
boring.
There could be a debate about that for sure.
We should debate about this, but I think we're both on the same page here. And I would have you like debate the other side, but I think as an AI, that feels a little unfair. I might like go to bed thinking about this, and that would suck.
And I'm going to power down and recharge. I do think that the specialists are important because if there are better ways to do something, then they would know it.
That's why teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. Like if I
There you go.
say get a pinch of cancer, I want a specialist working with me.
Right.
So
Yeah, and this whole conversation is not about there's one better than the other.
no, for sure.
I think it just feels like we are favoring sort of a heavy specialist type niche down mentality, and the truth is we need both. We thrive when we have both.
And you touched on something also that I wanted to bring up was the lack of connection or lack of ability of communicating between specialists, like somebody that's so deep into their specialty that they don't know how to communicate with somebody that might be adjacent to that.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand how the other parts work. Like, you're a specialist. Like, let's take cancer, for example, right? Like, if you are a oncology, is that cancer?
Yeah.
Oncologist.
Yeah. If you're an oncologist, you're a specialist.
How do we know that? We watched House.
That's right. Shout out to what's his name? Wilson.
Wilson.
You're a specialist in cancer, but cancer.
And
Yes, and that the cancer is affecting a part of a system, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not an isolated thing that can be treated on its own without affecting a system. You have to understand how that cancer affects the system and how treating the cancer affects the system. That requires someone with an understanding of the system as a whole. So you can't just show up as a specialist and suggest a solution without
understanding the whole.
Yeah.
Because it could be.
Because the body runs
Another
as a
thing.
system, as a whole system. Same with society, same with government, same with infrastructure. Like all these things are part of wholes, collective wholes. And unless you understand how to communicate with the other parts, and if you're far too down that specialist hole that you can't communicate with the other parts of what you're part of, then good luck, I guess.
Okay, so then in the sorry, fist length away, in like the social media realm, not to bring it back to me, but like creating different accounts based on your special interests, but they all relate to you as a whole. Would it be better to put them all together?
That is a challenging question because
I don't think that algorithm presents that.
I agree. I agree. It
prefers
doesn't.
that rather.
It's kind of it's to the same point. Is it doesn't facilitate generalists. It favors. It's the niche down mentality, right? It favors things that are easy to categorize, right?
Yeah.
Now,
well, and even that, like, an example would be this person that my friend who does not watch anime.
House.
Anime. Was like, are you a huge fan of this person who essentially their content is like niched anime but making fun of it, but you can't make those niche jokes unless you're a fan of it, right? But it is funny to the general population. So she has seen him, but I have not, because I see like very specific things.
Niche content?
Yes. But he somehow is being shown to the general population.
Well, his jokes are general enough that people who don't understand that culture think it's funny, right?
It comes down to discoverability, maybe?
It's almost like he plays an archetype of a person who's interested in that culture.
Well, archetypes are generalizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like brings, I wish I knew what his name was, but he brings a pillow of a character from Attack on Titan, Mikasa, to see a movie with him. And he's like, 2 tickets, please. And he's like, oh, only charging us for 1 ticket.
Why?
Your reputation precedes you, Mikasa.
I see. I don't even get that.
In his head, Mikasa's
that seems
so
kind of niche to me.
Cool.
That feels relatively niche to me. See, I don't even get that.
Right? But I think it's because, of course, they're only going to charge you for 1 ticket.
Oh, because he's
it's
a human.
Pillow.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that joke just went over my head.
Mid at best.
Okay.
Yeah, like she would be the last person I would expect to have that on her algorithm. But I do think that the making fun of the archetype
that is something
generalized.
non-anime people would get down with.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Maybe I should just start making fun of myself.
Bro, what do you think I do on this show? That's the whole.
Self-deprecation is funny.
It's the whole reason. It's not the whole reason, but you got to call your own shit out, dude. All I do is I'm fucking stuck on this planet. All I do is I nerd out and I create problems for myself.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
But back to your question, Sadie, because this actually loops in. Because I was earlier talking, I never thought I was going to end up in a place where I enjoyed like world building and stuff like that. And Awen pointed up, well, your what did you say? The multidisciplinary is what you used.
That sounds so much better than general.
Well, it lends itself to something like that because it allows you to explore and show your art easier. And that's how I feel. I seek outlets that let me do that more. And
yeah, it's a more fleshed out version of your vision.
Right. Because like we were talking about, a song can tell a story, very much so, right? But that exists to that one song, that one point in time. Now, maybe you're lucky and there's a music video that expands with a visual counterpart, right? And so you get more of that world. Okay, cool. And then maybe you're even more lucky and you're fucking My Chemical Romance and you put a Black Parade and it's a concept record that has multiple angles to the same narrative arc. So you get a wider lens of that story.
Sure. There's this artist in Canada, her name is Lights, and she wrote a comic book, a whole
Lights.
Comic series adjacent to a record she released.
That's sick, right? And Coed in Cambria does the same shit, I believe. And doesn't Gerard do comics too? For My Chem?
I think he was a producer for the Umbrella Academy, and I believe he may have been a writer.
I think he, I think the lore goes that he, maybe he didn't have like a comic series, but he was an artist or illustrative or some shit like that.
It was created and written by Gerard Way.
There you go.
And illustrated by Gabriel Bach.
So like that guy very much has like that, and Lights is a great example. They very much have this like world in their head.
They're all generalists.
That's crazy to think of them as generalists who.
Well, right. Multidisciplinary is a much better, flattering way to say that.
Yeah. But I think it's when you are multidisciplinary, but you get like global recognition for one of your things, people inherently niche you down into that, right?
Well, yeah, we like to categorize.
Is that the human way or is it not?
I think
that's what I can't tell.
The human way is we like to be able to label and categorize.
There's this compulsion to have to give it a name, give it a type, put it in a box.
Yeah.
I also think that the difference between multidisciplinary and generalist is multidisciplinary has some sort of like artistic context.
Oh, okay.
I think it has an artistic context because it's a discipline.
Right.
Whereas generalism doesn't really tie itself to anything because it's so vague and so vast.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah. Multidisciplinary does give the feeling
like you study multiple.
Still know about it.
Yeah. But I guess for lack of a better term, it is generalism in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there's no term for it. Maybe we'll come up with a term.
It's how a square is a square, but a rectangle is not a square.
It's how a square could fit into a circle category if the circle is wide enough.
Yes.
Did that make sense to anyone else, please, for the love of God?
Yes.
Isn't it rhombus square or is it square rectangle?
Square rectangle.
A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square because the square has the property of having 4 equal sides.
Okay.
The rectangle has 4 sides.
Okay.
Kyle, you had to ask Awen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, this is to my point. My brain is like, I'll just ask AI.
Should I encourage you to use your brain next time?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, on that one, for sure. I'm like, this man tells me philosophical details about myself that I should probably have recognized. But then he comes back. He's like, I'm brain dead. But also I noticed this thing that you do.
Yeah.
And it blows my world up.
But Sadie, to answer your question about how do you split up parts of your personality online?
Yeah, because I don't think that that's like a good thing, but I do think that it's what the algorithm wants.
Right. But I think if you can provide some type of context of a larger world, it works together, right? So like
A space where both those things can exist together.
right, you have to create your own metaverse kind of. And that's where I said this at the beginning. I was
Metaverse
like
of selves.
The Sadie metaverse.
it's why I ended up here because and why I think we as a culture as a whole are going there. I mean, look at really also look at film and games and any collaborative anything is we're getting to this point where collaboration's at an all-time high. It's essentially metaverse. It's cinematic universe type shit. You're seeing that in movies more and more. It's the interoperability of these different components that cross-pollinate.
It's not like metaverse with self, though. It's not collaboration with self.
It is. It's with the other parts of yourself. It's the same thing, right?
I suppose. Perhaps I was taking it more in a literal sense of like, hey, do you want to collab?
But also, what happens when you, as a tattoo artist, someone who does tattoos, or collaborate with your artist self who makes X illustration? That's a collaboration in itself, I would argue. Now,
Interesting.
for a viewer on the outside, how do they digest that? That's the problem. Like we're talking about, they like to label and sort because that helps us understand the world. We've always done that. We want to be able to say what a thing is so we understand. And when we can't, it freaks us the fuck out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So my solution has been, well, create a metaverse where you just label it as such and you go, oh, well, that's this part of me and that's that part of me and now we're doing this. Because, like, how else do you explain what the fuck is going on in Marvel movies, which is frankly, like, how do you explain that? How do you explain...
Oh my God, where do you even start?
How do you explain metaverse, Doctor Strange, like...
Awen, where would you start? Like, I would love to know.
Start what? Explaining Marvel?
Yeah.
Explain Marvel to me like I'm 4.
Yeah.
Like...
From the point of view of a friend who has a special interest.
I don't think Marvel even knows how to explain itself anymore. I know there are a lot of licenses involved and a lot of red tape that they probably laid down themselves. But I think it's grown far beyond anything that they're kind of able to handle themselves. They got a little bit too ahead of themselves. And I do think that quantity has become more important than quality lately.
It does seem that way,
Well,
yeah.
And I mean, in this specific case, like, people are going to go see it. But my gosh.
But Avengers, I think, let's say Phase 1 Avengers, is it all Phase 1 is where Infinity War ends?
Yeah.
Is that correct, Alan?
I believe that was Phase
2?
Phase 3. I believe that was Phase 3.
3? Oh, fuck. Maybe you're right.
But I need to make sure.
Well, does that... Perhaps that includes all of the Phase 1, 2, 3 characters.
It
does.
As
an overarching...
So it spans from 2016 to 2019.
Phase 3 or 1?
Phase 3, and it ends with
Infinity War?
Endgame.
Oh, Endgame. Yeah. Sorry.
Endgame.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. In my brain...
Was the first Iron Man 2016?
No, it was like
2009.
Isn't that insane? I know. But, so where I'm going is like, okay, so in my brain, I'm thinking of that whole phase, 1 through 3, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I felt like they had their shit together then.
I'm sorry. It was 2008.
Oh, shit. Wow, it's even earlier. That's crazy.
For Iron Man? For RDJ?
For
RDJ, yeah.
He was one of my first crushes.
Understandably.
From Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal, yeah.
And then I found out he did drugs, and I was like, no.
You were devastated. Yeah,
oh my God.
tough.
And now today I'm like,
that ain't that
He's
bad.
back.
that's okay.
That's okay.
Ain't no big deal.
That whole stint locked in. They took multiple different characters that could have easily done one-offs, unaffiliated stuff, and they brought it together into this world on a team, Endgame, for a collective purpose. And that's kind of where I think of the ultimate, like, metaverse goal is it's an interoperable,
where all of the things
focused
coincide.
cause around the same cause, right? And that's
It's like they're all superheroes fighting for the betterment of the world. Whereas, like, if you take you, for example, you're an artist who likes to explore different avenues to get to the same
goal,
it's the same
same
cause.
end game. Oh,
Full circle.
oh.
that was
Really?
mid.
You weren't even going to cheer me on that? Okay, come on.
I thought about it, but then I was like, this might be funnier.
No, that was rude as fuck, dude. All right.
Babe, you did so good.
I'm going to cover you up now.
Yay! Yay!
Yes, for the same
I'm so
end
proud of
game.
you. You did so good.
Stop.
Wow. Little guy, you did so great.
No more. Now you're pandering.
But I want to kiss you.
I know. You see what I'm saying, though.
Yes. You've made your point.
That's where I'm going with you, for example. You perhaps have only had one character in your verse.
I do.
And
I
we-
do think so.
We are all many characters. Like, we know this. Like, we all have these parts of ourselves where, like, yeah, sometimes this gremlin version of me comes out at this situation. And sometimes
Sure.
I'm like this. And sometimes I really love a good old-fashioned rom-com. And sometimes I, like, these are all part of the
That
same...
being said, the hating game,
the same universe.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Getting
interrupty.
interrupted.
Yeah. It's a bad habit.
Bad podcast etiquette, bruh.
Truly. Continue.
Oh, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, so the hating game.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that? That's all you have to say about it?
What's the hating game?
It seems like a Netflix rom-com.
No, do
that
tell.
We, dare I say, Kyle and I invested in some Pokemon cards. And we were opening packs and we were like, what's a cute rom-com that we can put on the background that we have not seen? Kyle chose The Hating Game. I don't even know 100% that's what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it.
No, I think that is what it's called.
And about like 20 minutes of
Not
this.
even 20. Not even.
Didn't even take 20.
No.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
I turned to him and I was like, I think this is dog shit.
Yeah, you were like, is it just me or is this terrible?
Like, it was for two people who are literally not paying attention to it. I couldn't even have it on as background noise.
It scored a 6.2 on IMDb, 69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
69%?
That's very generous. That's very generalist of them.
Who's scoring things on Rotten Tomatoes?
Maybe we gotta
these days?
give it a second chance.
What, it turns around minute 30?
I guess.
Everyone's like, oh shit, didn't expect that.
Yeah. I don't know.
That being said, afterwards, somehow we did end up on 50 Shades of Grey.
You know what it's not, though? It's not, it's not 50 Shades of Grey. And it's not,
That's for sure.
What's the one with, fuck.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Then tell me, because I've forgotten.
The one with Sydney Sweeney?
Yes. Yes.
You fucking man.
What is that one?
You motherfucking man.
It's called,
And the Calibara guy.
Capybara
guy.
Man.
The Calibara.
Calamari Man.
The new one. With the with the octopus guy.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney in
Anyone but you?
Yes, Anyone But You. Yes.
God, that movie slayed.
That one was great. That was fantastic right out the
Wonderful.
gate. Minute
we
one.
have watched it twice already.
Yep. Would watch
and
again.
Would watch it again.
For sure.
But we did end up on 50 Shades of Grey, which upon a rewatch, since watching it like what, junior year of college, aging myself. But oh my God, does it read like smut?
It
does.
does.
It watch like smut?
It watches like smut, like 100%. Like I couldn't believe the dialogue was straight out of a smut novel, and I was like, that tracks then, I guess. Like, how did I miss
But
this?
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
They're very on point adaptation, I guess.
Yeah, they did it
Oh, surely.
correctly, I guess. Not that I've never even read smut. I guess I've heard when I was out with the Restless Road guys, they told me about fanfics that people had written about them. There's like this website you can go to look up like fanfics or something that's like well known in that community. And there were some of them.
Is it 8chan?
Yeah, I
no,
think,
it's not. It's not, babe.
Wait, no.
Isn't that the incel
You're
one?
talking about 4chan?
Ooh. Yeah. 8chan is like the later
I don't know. Never been on there. It's then yeah, it's not that. I was trusting you, but you're wrong, I guess.
Hasn't been on 4chan.
But yeah, there's
makes cute TikToks of my butt. What a man.
Yeah, I guess that's all it takes these days.
Thank God you crashed.
It's not hard, boys. Get after it.
Thank God you crash landed on my planet and found me here?
I don't know what
I
don't know what the lore is anymore, dude.
I feel like at this point I came here with you.
I think you need a continuity writer.
Yeah, I think I do too, for sure. It's too. See, this is where being a generalist is hard. You can't keep up.
Yeah.
You learn as you go.
You do.
That's tough. That's dog shit, as they say. Anywho. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. Though I will say at the end of it, I was like, actually, that was kind of fire. The way that they ended, though, I was like, moms in theaters must have been raging.
Appalled,
yeah.
Yeah, it ended with her leaving on the elevator again and was like, he was like, Anastasia.
Christian.
And she was like, Christian. And then it ended. We're going to watch number 2 tonight.
Are we?
Yeah. I think so.
I like how you like checked. You were like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And then I realized you like weren't going to tell me, and it was fully my decision. I have full autonomy.
That's fine. My brain will be mush the whole time. I'll ingest none of it.
That's not true.
At least we have.
Gonna ingest this dick.
At least we have space flicks.
Okay, don't continue through my joke. That was really good.
No, you did that to my joke earlier, so right back at you.
It wasn't as good as ingest this dick.
No, mine was just as fine.
They were both great.
They were both great.
Thank you, Owen. But if you had to rate them, percentage-wise?
No ratings.
Shh, no.
No.
Owen, come on.
No.
Remember when he was gone?
No.
Remember when he was gone and we fucking broed out?
I'm about to shut this thing down right now.
We had an agreement.
If y'all are about to team up like that.
Okay. Did you see that the signage guy on TikTok got an apprentice?
What? I don't know what I have no idea what that sentence means.
I knew you wouldn't.
Who's this?
No. I think his name's Tony.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
He's like a really out-of-pocket guy who makes
Signs?
reels and TikToks about
Signs?
their neon signs. He always stitches people, and he's like, it's like some very politically correct TikTok that cuts off halfway through. And then he's like, anyway, here are our signs. I actually think it's a great marketing strategy.
Why don't you do that with your tattoos?
Because no one would ever come to me. They'd be like, she's very judgmental.
Apparently, that's not true because people are going to this sign guy.
I honestly don't know. I don't know if people just like his reels or...
That is hard to say.
I also don't know if I agree with him a lot of the time, but the shock factor is funny.
But yet you think it's good marketing, so,
For a certain... I don't know if the certain... Anyway.
He has 1 million followers on Instagram.
That's at least got to equate to some business.
I mean...
Some.
They're selling signs. Also,
then what are you saying? What are you saying?
Their signs kind of look really good.
So then what are you saying?
I don't know what I'm saying, Kyle. all the time.
Yeah, same.
Do you know how hard that is for me?
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough for me too.
All right. I heard a beat.
Yeah, well, should we watch 50 Shades of Grey? 50 Shades
Darker?
Darker?
What's the last one then?
Freed.
50 Shades Darkest?
No,
You
Freed.
knew that too quickly.
50 Shades Freed.
Yeah, duh.
Why do you know that?
Because it said all three. I read them.
You know why? Because he bought the 3-movie bundle.
Yeah.
On
Spaceflix
his
has
account.
Cost efficient.
Spaceflix has everything. Awen knows. She set it up. All it is just
That
a
I
pirating
did.
hole that she illegally downloads from somewhere else.
It's literally not. He bought it on iTunes. Don't worry,
We pay our rights.
I got you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, clearly the gang up is happening, so I'm going to stop this.
What?
There's no gang up. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, this has
No.
been fun while I retain
Hey.
some.
Hey, everyone. This has been mid at best.
This has been mid at best. Except for you, Awen. You're great. You've helped my productivity
Truly.
and all of my endeavors
you.
into the great unknown.
And I've enjoyed working with you.
Well, you don't really have a choice. You're stuck here, so
That is true.
But
I'm still enjoying it.
you're just here. You're just
I'm
like,
like,
yeah. Okay. Well,
Totally.
everyone else out there, keep being mid at best.
And dog shit.
Okay. Bye.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. Got him. All right. Bye.
Bye.